All right, so we are officially live, and welcome to Petite Omnivore or Katrina's D&D podcast. I'm super excited. Yeah, woohoo! I'm your DM for the night, so just wanted to take a brief introduction to introduce myself. I've been DMing since 2002. It's been a very long time. Starting with Pathfinder, and now have worked my way up to 5th edition. So I'm going to take a time to introduce our characters and get our story started. So, and I need my notes for that, which would be nice if things would have been loaded the way I asked them to be.
Oh boy, when I came into my computer to start this up, nothing was wanting to load at all, and I was just like, ah!
All right. So,
I was freaking out.
And I have my character from my other game loaded. I'm like, no, I'm not playing Moonracer right now. I'm playing someone else.
all right, guys. So,
Well,
I'm going to start this
everything.
introduction. So, bright lanterns suspend over narrow streets, and they twist in the wind and add flecks of color to pale towns' otherwise drab surroundings. Their light play over the stone covered walls of the buildings. The yellow glow from the lanterns extends 10 feet just before their location, then falls off. In the distance between each of the lanterns, as your feet crunch across the snow, is darkness that reclaims its home. The cold is ever piercing on your uncovered face. The furs that you bundle yourself in keep your body warm, but this winter's been going on for so long, you often wonder what the sun and heat would feel like again. Palebank Village, as you arrive, this tiny town that had its last winter and then it never left. Crops started to dwindle, people stopped visiting as often, wondering what they did that caused their home to be punished in such a way. This unyielding winter to Palebank has caused local trade to suffer, eating away the local sense of humor and goodwill. Still, this is a pretty safe place in Islecross to spend coin or spend the night. The door to the Jolly Dwarf swings open, allowing a blast of frozen air in to attack the precious warmth inside. Wild-looking man in ice-crusted furs comes through and quickly shuts the door behind him. He stands there, slowly scanning the sullen faces of the patrons, many who glance up from their drinks to see what the cold had brought with it. Mutterings of, ugh, and it's just that ranger again. The drinkers return to their cups. Lanterns inside the tavern are barely lit, almost matching the darkness outside. As you observe the patrons in the Jolly Dwarf, the walls creak from the strain of the snow and ice on the roof. The floorboards also creak from heavy use as you cross the floor. Richard, would you like to go ahead and introduce your character as you enter the Jolly Dwarf?
Okay. My name is Richard Valencia. I'll be playing Alwyn Orekian. He is a Wood Elf Ranger. Not incredibly tall nor incredibly muscular looking, more almost doe or fawn-like in gait and frame. Um, he is a creature much more of the deep forest than most of the elves that he knows. Um, and while he does travel far from this town for long lengths of time, he has found this place to call somewhat of a home.
All
I'm
right.
not sure if you need any more than that right now, or
No, that's perfect.
okay.
So, as you're inside the Jolly Dwarf, music starts to penetrate the grumbles of the inn patrons. The bard that's inside the inn provides a melody that attempts to maintain the upbeat nature that is usually the tone of Palebank residents, back to a time before winter, before the crops started dying, and the rumors of everlasting winter spread throughout Islecross. helps the mood slightly as the bard plays. And Andrew, would you like to introduce your character?
I will do my best.
Totally fine, no pressure.
So, my name is Andrew. I am playing a half elf bard named Ardian. Uh,
What does Ardian usually wear?
uh,
Have you thought about it?
Very basic clothes.
Okay. No, it's
So,
great.
usually, it's just the basic uh, descriptions.
It's all good.
uh,
Just brown
I'm
neutral tones for clothes.
with hints of green.
Hints of
Yes.
green. Perfect. Um, you're kind of the handsome bard character.
Yes. Well, as
So
you can tell, my character looks quite handsome. Yes.
he's the ladies' man of the party.
Definitely.
Hello, ladies.
Uh,
Hello,
my
nurse.
Exactly.
my character owns the shop Pelt's Curiosities,
Yep.
and he owns it along with his aging parents, who have a we have a person that is helping out, uh, helping keep up the shop and helping keep take care of my parents when I'm away. And
Yep.
it's just basics like going out and doing quick runs around shopping and stuff like that.
Absolutely. All right.
Getting more.
So the downstairs of this inn features a large tap room. What you guys see in this inn is a gray haired dwarf that you both recognize as Arl Bartok. He grumbles some low murmured hellos, which is pretty standard for him, and kind of you see him look up to the stairs as the proprietor of the inn descends the staircase. Um, so, Tyler, would you like to introduce your character?
Hello. Tyler. I'll be playing Argus Greystorm. I am a Genasi wizard. Um, Tall, lanky. I've got dark crystallized horns that go back along my grayish hair. Dark blue robes. I keep a small cloud around my feet so it looks like I float because I want to seem more wizardy to the small town people around me. Um, I run the Jolly Dwarf with my best friend, Arl. He mumbles a lot, but he's a good guy, and he makes really good soup.
I hate to say this, Argus, but are you putting on airs?
I'm not a. I'm proud of what I've learned, but I'm not a proud man.
Right.
Um, I keep a chipper attitude at all times, but I'm generally thinking about many other things, not too much about the small talk that I tend to keep with people around town.
Perfect.
Mostly I just want to study and learn more so I can grow more and help the town.
Yeah. Um,
That's
so
all
out of the
for now.
NPCs that you guys see in the inn, um, a family stands out to you guys. Two male humans that you recognize as Ervil Leal and his husband, Fenton Tethwick, and their two adopted tiefling children are running around um, the Jolly Dwarf. Um, the two kids are kind of playing while both the husbands are sitting down and eating some of the stew that Arl has recently made. Um, and this is where I'm going to ask for our first dice rolls. So first, I'm going to retcon and ask for a performance check from our bard to how well he's playing in the inn. So if you can roll me a performance check, please, Ardian.
which dice do I use to roll it?
It's a d20, so if
Mhm.
you click your performance button for your Beyond 20 add-on, it'll roll that in roll 20 for
Mhm.
us.
Performance.
Performance, please. Nice. That's a good way to start off the campaign with a 17 for performance. So, what instrument are you playing?
I am playing the pan flute.
Pan flute? All right. So you just hear this melodic, and I'm not going to try to recreate anything because that would be terrible, but this melodic flute and this upbeat melody just pierces your ears as he's playing. I also need perception checks from all three of you, please.
All right. The dice are not kind. That's a total of 13 for me.
13, 23 for Argus,
He sees
18 for
everything.
Ardian. All right. So you guys are going to get different streams of information. So I'm going to start with the least amount of stream information for Tyler's character, for Alwyn.
Actually,
While
that's me.
this, yeah, you said you got a 13, right?
Right, I got 13, but you
Yeah.
said,
You said Tyler's character.
yeah, you said Tyler's
Sorry.
character.
Oh my God, I'm mixing up names because I'm
There's
terrible.
a lot of A's around here. It's all
There
right.
really is. So, okay. The owl.
So, Alwyn.
Yes, Alwyn. Your character sees this family, and with the kids running around, you're slightly distracted, but you see a note on the table, but can't exactly make out what it is. But you see like it's like blurred out text of like different items that look like invoice. And for the other two players, I will show you the invoice on roll 20, so it will be in your handouts. You see this Pelk's Curiosities invoice. Ardian, you go, I remember this. They had You had given them 1,000 gold for the oddities that you purchased from them. Vera was the final one who aided in the transaction, but these guys have the invoice. There was an antique dagger, a scroll case, a jade statuette, a leather quiver, magic arrows, a silver ring, and 2 blue glass vials for a payment of 1,000 gold out of your shop. And so you recognize this. my
We're quite
my
curious.
kid just came and told me our stream's not very loud. For audio. So
I was quite curious if they came in to sell all this
yeah.
stuff.
So yeah, you helped facilitate some of this. Rila finished it for you. But they're sitting there, and what you don't hear over the ruckus of the flute playing and the kids running around and the other patrons in the Jolly Dwarf is they're just muttering to themselves and seem to be talking kind of hushed and low and intense expressions on their faces. So what would you guys like to do?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that since Argus has seen most of this, that he would probably take the initiative over the other two of us. Because for me, I just see a note. I see nothing else there that has attracted my attention.
I mean, like the fact that they're talking low would
Mhm.
kind of like seem weird to you. I mean, you don't know exactly what's on the invoice, but
Right.
you
But it's an
it's
intense
weird
conversation
behavior.
in low voices over something there at the table.
Yes.
Hmm.
Um, how far away am I?
Um, let's
Can I
switch to
can't hear
your
anything
in.
they're saying.
I will move you guys to your in map. So you guys should see a new map on Roll20. That is your in.
Hmm.
Um, they are sitting at. We will move them to like this table as they're sitting here talking. So the stairs are right here,
Hmm.
and you have your Arl Bortok is sitting behind the thing. So when you came down, your character would be like right here at the base of the stairs. For
And the
Argus,
main entrance is over here. Uh,
correct.
okay.
Yep.
And where am
So
I
I guess
located
I
on the map?
should.
You can re-drag out your tokens
Oh,
to put
okay.
them out onto the map on where you guys want to be. The bard can pick his location of where he's actually playing at. I mean, it's cozy. The rooms and stuff are all upstairs. So just as a that's a second story indicator.
I did not drag my character out.
Do you need me to do it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
drug it out into there, and it's not dropping him.
Yeah. Me neither. I can't. So from
See, can you
the
move
note
them?
section there, I try and drag my character and it just starts selecting everything.
It lets me move him, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
Well, I
where
dragged
am
them
I
out
Oh,
at
for
okay.
on
you.
here?
I see. Yeah, I see. I
Wherever
got.
you want to be at. I assume the ranger would be at the front entrance.
Hmm.
The
I'd be up here.
bard can be sitting on the edge of a table or near the fireplace, wherever
Right.
you would like to perch up at for playing your pan flute.
Hmm.
Um, so, and the kids are kind of like running around. They're not like screaming, but they're
Right.
energetic. They're young kids. So, and you guys know who they are. Like you've seen their daughters around. These two husbands are
Hmm.
pretty protective of their adopted daughters, but Honor and Magic are their names, and they kind of just are pretty silly little kids.
They're being kids.
Yeah. So,
So I guess I'll come over to the guys and ask them how they're doing. Ask them if there's anything they may need.
um, in
I can.
typical waitstaff fashion, every time someone walks by the table, they like slurp down their their spoonful of soup that they were eating in amongst their murmurs and kind of, oh, it's very good, thank you. That comes from Ervil.
Do I notice anything suspicious at all?
I mean, they
Anything?
stopped talking about what they were talking about.
I.
Can I ask them, say, how goes things, fellas? How's the day been?
Uh, Ervil kind of looks at his husband, and Fenton looks back at him. Go and give me an insight check. Okay. Uh,
That'll be a 7.
7. Something's definitely bothering them. They seem nervous, and that's pretty obvious.
Hmm.
Um, but so they kind of like get done looking at each other, and like they both look at you, and they go, "We're just a little worried about everything going on right now, especially with Ergon passing. That's kind of rocked the village." And we're
Now,
on.
just a question. At this
Yep.
point, since I just arrived, do I know that Ergon has passed away yet, or
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
okay?
You
Okay.
know he's passed.
Okay.
Um,
I will say that was it as Ardian is playing a song. I'm probably gonna not want to walk in front of him, so I'm gonna stand over here in the corner and at least wait till his song is done before I go past over
Okay.
to where Earl is at the bar
Okay.
to ask just to ask a couple of questions about Ergon.
Sure. We definitely do that in a second. Let me just wrap up with
Sure,
Argus.
sure.
So, they go. You've heard though, haven't you?
Heard.
How he died. And they kind of wait a second,
What
and
have
when
you heard?
he, Ervil goes, kind of like leans in across the table a little bit to you and goes, when he died, he had blue veins that like came from his heart and seeped up through his neck and reached his eyes, and his eyes completely turned colors, and he froze over in this frozen statue. It's so
What?
it's so morbid, and it's so nerve-wracking.
And where did you hear this information? If you don't mind me asking.
I saw it. I saw his body when they carried it to the graveyard that they're preparing for his burial today. I saw it, and it's so terrifying. And you see his husband Fenton kind of like put his arm around him as Ervil shakes a little bit, and shudders like a wave of cold terror ran through him. Um, and Fenton goes, I think that's enough talking about it for right now. And goes, eat your soup. It'll help make you feel better. And
So
it does.
from where I'm standing by the stairs,
Oh,
is it possible for me to do a perception check to see if I hear any of this?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. And it's a ooh.
Yeah, you caught every word.
Mm. I
With
am
a
doing my best
21,
not to stare directly at them. I'm trying to listen, but I'm not trying to stare directly at them. I'm listening
I'm
to
just
music.
gonna hold up this staircase.
Yeah, it might fly away any second now. Staying
And
right
he's
here.
just standing over everybody,
Well,
going, "What do you guys
Yeah.
say?"
Huh?
I'm not leaning. I'm just winded. I'm just against the wall here for support.
I
That's
just
all.
traveled for 2 months to get here.
Well,
um,
I'm just kind of just still playing my flute, but I'm also just kind of keeping an eye on what's going on.
are you wanting to do a perception check to hear this
so
conversation too?
Sure.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception check. Nice. Yeah, you miss a few words here and there. Specifically when he gets really low about the like veins seeping up into Ergon's eyes and like the blue ice and him like freezing over. But what you um what you remember is, go ahead and give me an intelligence check too, actually. Let's see. Mm, yeah, just a straight up intelligence. 3, 6.
Wah wah.
Yeah. So has to be biffs occasionally and bumps in the road. Um, you're
it's okay. You're pretty.
yeah, it makes up for it.
Bless your heart.
So you
Stop
don't.
looking here. My eyes are up here.
You don't recall, but like one of the female patrons in the bar kind of like winks at you as you're playing and like tosses a gold coin to you, and you like catch it and are a little distracted as to trying to remember um, information about those vials that were sold to your Pelk's Curiosities. Maybe you should ask um, Virla about that.
So I think I want to thank them, tell them to maybe not worry about it so much.
Okay.
Um, I'm sure we'll figure it out and it'll come to nothing. And I head back over to the bar, but as I go by, I think I want to give Ardain like an eye, like, "Did you hear that?" And then
Do you say that
I
out
kind of
loud to
step back.
him or just like kind of eye him as
No,
you walk by?
just kind of give him the face, like,
Wink.
That like sideward glance of
like
like
we'll
Yeah.
talk about this later.
that was weird.
And then I walk behind the bar to discuss it a bit with
Okay.
Alwyn.
So I will get to that in a second. For Alwyn, you were wanting to also go talk to Arl,
Mhm.
correct? All
I
right.
did, but I know
Okay.
that, if I heard that much conversation, I might take the initiative and just go join them at the table because Ergon was a good friend of mine, and I know a lot about that vial. So I might want to talk to, see if I can. And there was a lot of things he didn't share with me. So trying to fit in the piece of the puzzle, I sit down, bid them a good evening, and just lead in with Ergon was a close friend of mine. We spent almost a year together out in the wilderness, and he
Fenton,
was acting very strange, right up until the end when we got back. I you I know about the vial he had. I know he was secretive about it. Um, what
how
happened
loud are
to it?
you talking?
Um, how many other people are in the bar besides the five of us that are showing, or
Um, there's a few.
the people?
There's probably
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 besides the kids running around.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's like medium busy for
Right.
like not every table slot is full, but it's like there's people around you that if they listened hard enough would
Mm-hmm.
hear you unless you're whispering, but you would know that.
Right. I I might just sit, act as if we're old friends. Maybe lean into like yeah, lean in and try and whisper a little more quietly to see if either one of them reacts or takes the bait to say anything.
Okay. Um, Fenton kind of perks up and goes, "I'm so sorry for your loss. That must be
It's a
so
loss for all
difficult."
of us.
And he kind of nods. "Yes, this is true. What what do you know about the vials?" And he kind of leans in close
Hmm.
to like hear what you have to say. Like he's sitting on the edge of his seat, like
Right.
desperate to hear.
Yeah. I lean a little bit closer and I put a hand on his shoulder and says perhaps we should talk about this later. Say maybe tomorrow morning.
Um, he kind of goes, "No, I need to know now what you know."
All right. I will kind of do my best to do the hey waiter kind of sign over at Arl like hey thirsty guy here, can I get something? We'll wave like a mug of something over here please, hey. uh and
Arl,
I will tell them, says I don't, I'll lean in as far as and say as quiet as they can. I don't know much more than I've already said. He was very secretive about it. He didn't tell me much about it. He avoided the subject a lot, but I've seen him coveting it, and I didn't know if it was dangerous or not, but now I do.
Um, he kind of looks at you and he goes, like, you see him kind of like look around the inn and make sure nobody's looking. You see
Mm,
him like reach over to his side and he grabs something out that's wrapped in a cloth
mm,
and he unfolds it and kind of like as secretly as he can, like using his body to kind of position as much as he can, not doing a super great job of it.
right.
um, and kind of like passes it in between both of their soup bowls and unfolds it, and you see two blue vials that are just emanating a very, very slight glow.
Hmm.
Blue vials, you say?
Yeah. Um, and
Where
then
have
he
I
kind of
seen
like
those
folds it back
before?
over and
Right.
puts it back in his pack, and he goes,
Can
"Is that the same thing? Is that what is that what Ergon had?"
I'll nod. I'll just do just very quick, just a very slight nod, just like mm-hmm.
He goes, "Oh
can I use
God."
a perception check to see if I saw
Your
what they
passive's
were
high enough.
hiding?
You see it. He rolled like shit for hiding it. So I'm not gonna make you roll for it. Um, but
He's
he
trying so hard to be subtle that it just pops straight out. Like I'm trying to be subtle. Mm-hmm.
here's this thing.
Right.
Yeah. Um, so he
Look
puts
left,
it
look
back
right.
in his pack, and you see him look to his daughters and look back at you and go, "Oh God, we're gonna die the same way, aren't we?"
But I can't. I just put my hand on his hand and says, "We don't know that. No one knows that." I think I'm looking around like Arden might he knows more about potions and things. He might have a better idea about this. Maybe we should talk to him after he's done with his set right now.
As you say that, Arl like grumbles to Argus as he like pulling a thing of like honey mead out of the draft. And he goes, I gotta go deliver this kunk 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 kunk. As he like non-stealthily dwarvish walks over and like puts a ale on your bar and goes, 2 silver pieces. I
Oh, that's
don't
fine.
do
That's fine.
deep dwarvish voices very well,
Right.
so bear with me.
I just looked at the two of them. It's on your tab, right? Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
On who's on you're saying that to Erbil and
Who's
Fenton?
Yeah, to Earl
yeah?
and Fenton. I'm like, it's on your tab, right? Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
They go,
I like this
okay.
thing.
And I smooth talk around that.
I smooth
Do
talk
you stay
around
at the
that.
table or are you taking your beer and leaving?
No, no, I'm going to stay at the table at least
Okay.
to enjoy this with them. I mean, they're paying. I mean, that's the only polite thing to do.
I love your character so much.
They're
um,
only grieving. It's okay.
it's like this
They're only
awkward,
grieving. It's
like
fine.
they have this epiphany that they think they're gonna die, and it's written all over their faces, and you're just
And you're
sitting
just
there
like, oh, you can
sipping
pay for
mead
this,
like
right?
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
fine.
Okay.
Gold doesn't matter when you're dead, right?
It's always good to put a brave face on. That's all. In the face of adversity.
And they just kind of go, yeah. And you see Fenton like stand up straighter and try it like, and he's pretty narrow framed, but he tries to like broaden up his shoulders and go, "You're right. I have to be strong for my daughters."
That's right.
And he takes another bite of his soup, and it makes him feel a little bit better. Um, and they just kind of awkwardly sit there and eat their soup while you're sitting there drinking your mead.
Hmm. Yeah.
uh, Ardian, are you doing anything
uh,
besides continuing playing?
I am actually gonna stop playing
Okay.
and leave.
Leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Now when you say stop playing, it's like you're just gonna stop straight like that, or it's like you end your set, you stand up, you
I
bow, we all like clap for you, and
I kind of stop in a like I'm was planning to do that, but it's kind of somewhat sudden.
Right.
Okay.
And I get up and I leave.
All right, so go ahead and like put your marker outside. Yeah, perfect. Um, it is cold out here as you exit the inn. Um, I am gonna jump to Argus and see what he wanted to talk to Arl about, and then I will see where you're headed, Arden. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. So Argus, what were you wanting to talk to Arl about?
Um, basically just wanted to relay what's been told to me to, my closest friend,
Okay,
basically to let him know that I don't think it's anything to be worried about at this point, but to keep his eyes open, just to be safe. And
he
if he hears anything, to let me know.
kind of nods. He goes, "Yeah, this seems a bit shady as to how Ergon's death happened. I'll definitely keep an eye out. Are you attending his funeral later this afternoon?"
It's a smaller town. I think I should.
He asks you, "Are you okay if I close up for an hour and attend as well after
Of course,
lunch?"
by all means.
He nods his appreciation. He goes, "You know, I have to act all big and bad, but Ergon was a good dude, and we should all pay our respects."
Definitely.
One quick question.
Yeah,
What time of day is it?
it is 10 in the morning.
For some reason, I think you cut out because I didn't quite catch what
It's
time.
10 in the morning.
Okay.
10 in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like it also pegs you guys as weird that they're eating soup for breakfast. But
Also drinking at 10 a.m.
yeah, yeah, typical ranger
Yeah,
fashion.
Mr. Ranger. Just
um
drinking at 10 in the
It's
morning.
been a rough day.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's only just
Um
started, but yeah.
so but
You
yeah,
gotta drink when you can.
it's weird. There's a couple things that are weird. It's weird that they're eating soup at 10 o'clock in the morning, but you guys know from experience that they're eating soup because there's not many other current options for breakfast, um, as
You guys need to get
crops
a breakfast menu.
and yeah, and
I'm doing what I
harvests
can,
have
man.
been suffering since winter has started. Um, but people drink mead and ale and mulberry wine like warmed just to try to have some semblance of what that summer warmth was like. That's been so long since they've had that. Um, so, out of everybody here,
Hmm.
um, Alwyn is the only one that's actually seen the sun in the last like year.
Right.
So, um, and
What's
that's
the
just
sun you
because
speak
he's
of?
been traveling. Yeah, it's a rare occurrence.
It's a
But
bright death orb in the sky. We see one, you've seen them all.
uh, Irish people hate it. um, or pale elves. So,
Yes.
uh, is that the only thing you were wanting to talk to Arl about, Argus? Was that
Um, and the delivery he said he had to make.
the delivery?
Um, where
Delivery.
was that again? He mumbled something. He had to. Oh, he
It
was
was
talking about
delivering
the
the
beer
drink.
to the
It
He's
guy.
was
Yes.
yeah, it was
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
drink
yes, yes,
going
yes, yes.
to your
yeah,
patron
Okay.
that
right.
pawned
Yeah,
off
that's
his beer
Yeah, that.
on your two other patrons.
right.
Yeah,
Price
that
of
would
it,
be
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So,
That guy.
yeah. Uh all right. Ardian, where are you headed?
Where ver,
Virla?
yes.
So you're going to your shop.
Yes.
All
Shop I
righty.
go. Off the
So, yeah.
nap.
Um As you approach the very typical sign that hangs over the cabin says Pelk's Curiosities with the familiar image of a curving dragon that makes the P in the letter.
Mhm.
Doors closed. You go to open it, it kind of and creaks open. Some of the lights are lit for the lanterns that are taking place and the candles on the bar to your shop. You enter in. The antique shop occupies, like, the front part opens up and is an open space. Um, Virla is kind of hand resting on her chin, like propping herself up on the front desk and like flipping through a book, and looks up at you and kind of looks back down, closes the book and looks up again and goes, "Hey."
And
You know she
I
doesn't talk
walk.
a lot.
I walk up to her and I ask her if she remembers the two guys come in to sell a bunch of stuff.
She looks at you, looks over her shoulder at the shelf of like the stuff that's sitting open and displayed on the shelf behind her. Um, the two vials aren't there, but everything else that is listed on that invoice is on the shelf. Um, and she just goes, "Yeah, it's right there. Two gentlemen came in and bought those blue glass vials from us, though. They asked me to know everything that was on the list, so I gave them a copy of the invoice. Uh, but
That's how they got a hold of it.
yep. But they really wanted those blue vials for whatever reason. While you're
Did they
in,
happen to? Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask her if did they were in here. Did they say anything specific other than asking about what was on there, or was it just that was all he said?
Well, what I know of both of those gentlemen is they are, um, oh my gosh, the word is escaping me. I can English, I swear. They're booksellers. So it was a little weird that they wanted these blue glass vials, but I think they wanted to study them to identify if they could be used as like a preservative for their books, was my assumption, but I don't really know. Um, but they didn't ask anything like weird about it. I mean, they were interested as collectors of things that are precious in that capacity. They often buy things from us. That's not unusual.
Mhm.
Um, and while you're standing here talking to her, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Uh,
16. All right. So as she's sitting here talking and like she's kind of like tapping her finger on her face as she's talking to you and stops talking, you notice that the um, nail beds of her fingernails, like towards her cuticles, are blue, like ice colored blue.
I ask
That's.
her about it.
She kind of looks at her fingers and goes, "Huh, I don't
That's
know what
funny.
that is."
Hmm. Now, I didn't hear about the blue stuff or what happened to the guy with the blue veins, did I?
You know
So
that Ergon died, and he is the
now
one
that he
that brought
died,
this shipment that included these vials. So you
okay,
can safely
so
know
it
that
has
there is
something to
something
do.
going on between Ergon and him bringing the shipment and those vials, and now whatever he had,
She
Verla
has,
has too. And a thought runs
and
across your thoughts, and you go, "Oh no, do my parents have it too?" And like they're in the back room,
so
kind of relaxing.
I quickly rush back to them.
You rush back to them, and you swing the back door to the room open, and your mom's sitting there, uh, knitting in her chair. Dad's laying in the bed. Um, they look up at you and go, "What? Is everything okay?"
And I go to ask them to check their hands.
Uh,
Show me your hands.
Show me your
your
hands
mom
now.
goes,
Scare
um,
the elderly Andrews.
your mom
For a
goes,
good cause.
Out of fear and love,
"Okay."
he is scaring the elderly. Yes.
Um, your mom goes, "Okay," and she like puts down her knitting needles and like holds her hands out to you, and you look, and sure as shit, she has the same blue under her fingernails that Virla has. And you go and you look at your dad, and you kind of like pull his hands out of under the blankets, and his is not only his fingernails, but you see blue has started to seep up his fingers towards his palms, just briefly.
Oh, good
Whatever
lord.
this
And
It's
is
moving fast.
is making other people sick.
and it's not affecting, or currently affecting Ardain.
No.
So he's lazy, and everybody else works.
I say we nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Nuke what site?
Quarantine,
I
6 feet, social distance, all these people.
It's the COVID of Palebank Village.
oh, too close to home.
Maybe a little bit.
Eh.
um, but yeah, so
So, knowing all this, I quickly head back to the tavern.
okay. While so I would say that this encounter would have taken you like probably just like 15 minutes. Um, to have this discussion with your parents and rush back. Uh, while he was gone in those 15 minutes, was there anything else you guys wanted to do?
Um, I would say that Alwyn, once Arden got up and left, I
Mm-hmm.
might wait like 1 or 2 minutes out of courtesy, but then I'm gonna take a big gulp of my mead, put on the table, and just and say, "I'm sorry, I need to talk to Arden about something really fast. Is it alright if we leave this here?" And then get up and walk out the door.
So you don't even wait for
I
them
like
to
to
say anything. You
rush
just kind of like
Not
leave.
Choga.
even exactly. I'm
He
sorry.
just
I
gets
gotta
up,
talk to Arden.
rushes out.
Exactly. I'm gonna take this drink you bought. I'm gonna leave it right here on the table. I'll be right back. Okay, bye.
And they
And
I
kind
would
of
like
look
to
at each
grab him
other.
as he tries to leave at
They're
the
like,
door.
what the hell?
Yeah. How long did you wait?
I waited a couple of minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes. Not so I didn't like rush out past him as soon as he left, but I waited
Okay.
maybe like 5 minutes,
5 minutes?
and then got up and left as just. I was also watching to see if anyone else got up and followed him out of the tavern when he left.
Sure. No one followed him.
Yeah,
Except for
yeah.
you.
Did anyone else except for me? No one else.
Correct.
Okay.
Um, as you step outside into the snow, go ahead and either. How are you following where he went?
Um, I will. Has it been snowing? Is there fresh snow on the ground or?
It is not currently snowing. Um, there is snow on the ground, but it's like ice snow
Right,
mixture.
right. I would assume that he's heading towards his shop if he's not here. So I'd be walking in that direction.
Okay. Just kind of like normal pace walking.
Yeah, no, just normal pace. There's nothing to be concerned about. Nothing to see here. Just a man on a walk
Okay.
to find another man. Talk about blue death in a bottle. That's all. Nothing else.
Right.
Nothing else.
Um.
It's just blue death.
Just blue death in a bottle. Nothing else.
Uh. While you are walking, go ahead and give me a perception check.
All right. Come on, pay attention. Open your eyes. It's not too bad.
16, not bad at all.
No, not bad at all.
So, as you're walking, you
Mhm.
see like normal people doing their stuff in their daily morning routines at 10 a.m. You are doing well enough to pay attention to know that you kind of gain the attention of some of, oh my gosh, and what are they called? Shoot. I hate when I can't find what I need. Um, the equivalent to the town guard. Um, the name escapes you as far as what they are, but two of them that are walking together kind of like eye you funny
Right.
as you walk by.
Mhm.
Um, and they wait like 30 feet and then kind of turn around and go to follow you.
Uh huh.
Um, so they're not like, they're called glass blades. That's what they are.
Okay.
Um, Found it.
Okay.
So these two glass blades are, you know them as the guards of Palebank,
Mhm.
just kind of like slowly meandering behind you, and they are talking amongst themselves um, as you kind of head to Pelt Curiosities. Do you do anything?
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try and lose him. I am particularly dexterous and deft and things like that. I hope.
I'm gonna pull the Palebank menu back up.
Mhm.
So you leave the Jolly Dwarf, you head to Pelt Curiosities. Which way do you weave in and out?
Let's take a look. Let me show me the map.
Oh,
Okay.
shouldn't need to move you, right? Like you can see it.
Yeah, yeah, I can see the Jolly Dwarf. I know where Pelt's Curiosities are, so it's pretty much just a straight shot down the road.
Correct. But you can weave in and out of some of the
Yeah,
houses if you
yeah, the
wanted to
houses
try
that
and
are
like
yeah the houses that are
duck.
there. So yeah, so that small bank of houses that's right there, I'm going to probably cut left, and then almost as soon as I'm out of sight, I'm gonna do my best to sprint a little bit forward, um, cut right, cut left, and then get all the way to the diagonal from where I
Like
went in
right
at.
in here.
Yeah, so basically, if right there from the sign that says Pelt's Curiosities, if you go
Okay.
right, directly right, there's that little corner of the house.
Okay.
So yeah, as soon as I'm around the corner, I'm gonna quickly sprint around through that little thing of houses and stop there.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check with advantage
Okay,
because you have Mask of the Wild.
that's right. Alrighty, shabam.
Nice. So you kind of duck around and run off, and the guards take off after you. And one of them goes, "Go that way," and the other one takes off and goes like down this street, and then he continues straight down this one, and you hear them as you hide like converge like back at this corner, and they go,
Okay,
"I don't know where he went." I go, "I don't know either." And their voices get low, and you don't hear them, but you know that they're talking to each other,
mm-hmm.
and they take off in this direction and
I
start
can't see where you're
walking.
pointing on the map.
Oh, you can't see the circle?
Let's see. No. On the map of Palebank itself.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Well, if you're like pinging on the map, I'm not seeing the pings come up on the map.
Um, Let me see if I can put my shape here. You see that?
No.
Weird. Okay. They basically, I don't use Roll20 often enough because I usually play in person. Um, but they went in between this the the huts between the Jolly Dwarf and Pelt Curiosities and
Hmm.
went towards Elrose.
Okay. Okay. So they cut that way. So they're all right. So yeah. So they've gone past me and they're proceeding towards Elrose.
Correct. Do you
Is that
keep
right?
going? Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. They've gone past. I'm not circling back and searching around
No,
the house I'm staying at. Okay.
you don't see them.
Okay. I'm going to stealth over to Pelk's Curiosities the best I can. Do you want
Okay.
me to do another stealth check?
Nah, you're fine.
Okay.
You
Okay.
kind of look left, look right. You don't see any more glass blades or the ones that were
Hmm.
following you.
Okay.
And you just kind of jostle over. As you jostle over to Pelk's Curiosities, the door opens. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw to avoid being hit with the door.
As it
Yeah,
bursts open.
as it bursts open, yes. All right, come on.
Because Andrew is
On a
always
mission.
We're just on a mission right now.
Woo! Yep.
Yeah. So, Ardian, you swing open the door really fast and you go to step out and you see
Yeah.
Alwyn
I
kind of,
would just right there in your face, like, whoa.
and he kind of jumps back, takes a step
Uh-huh.
back and looks at you and goes, "Whoa."
I step into him and gently push him back inside. It's like, get inside. We need to talk.
Do you allow this to happen?
Sure. But I
Okay.
do
Okay.
ask him, what the hell are you doing here?
All right.
So,
I take a quick peek outside the door, make sure that there's no one like watching just look down the street. Is anyone paying attention to what's going on right now? And then close the door, and then tell them how that two of the glass blades were they for some reason they showed a lot of interest in me and were following me, and I had to ditch them to get over here to talk to him.
do you tell him what you want to talk about?
I well at that point, yeah, says I need to talk to you about uh there's two blue vials that Ervil and Fenton have two blue vials of some weird liquid, and that they and I'm pretty sure that's what killed Ergon. So I mean, you do potions, you know about these things, right?
I tell him that yes, I already saw those potions. And I thought that they looked familiar because my shop bought them from
Mm-hmm. Ergon.
your friend. And I swear I remembered those, so I came back to talk to Ver, Verla. Fuck, am I saying her name right?
Yeah,
Verla?
Virla.
Virla. About it, and she told me that both of them came in and bought them, which was kind of strange, but not
Mm-hmm.
too out of the ordinary because they do tend to buy from us a lot.
Right.
And she said that from what they had, or from what she had, oh, what was I gonna say?
From what she told
That
you.
from what she told me, they seemed very interested for some reason in everything that was bought from your friend.
Hmm.
And the main reason why I felt like I knew of those vials is because I remember I saw their copy that they had of the sheet,
Mhm.
and I was wondering how they got that. But one of the things that I just noticed is that whatever is in those vials is infecting people. Because not only does Verla have blue come around her nails, my both my parents have it, but my dad seems to have it a lot worse because it's going from his nails up his fingers, almost up to his palm.
And I see this invoice. Can I look at it?
Yes,
Virla's
we have it over
listening
here.
super intently to this discussion with wide eyes, even though she's
we
not
walk
saying
over.
anything.
We walk over to her, and I
She
say,
is terrified.
"Verla, get that,
You
get
say get
that
that, and she
invoice for me,
immediately
please."
turns around and is already like opening the safe to get the original copy of the invoice out.
Mhm.
And you see her
Mhm.
like struggle with the safe and the magical means of unlocking it. And she kind of goes,
Mhm.
good. And, and then she like calms down. You see her like compose herself, and she like kunk, and you hear it open, and she grabs the invoice out and slams it closed in an angry fashion and closes it back and turns to you and hands you the invoice and just this stern, serious, intense look on her face that only an introvert can do. And then sets it on the counter.
Okay. So looking at this invoice of the things that Ergon sold, um, considering I was traveling for a year, do I remember all these different items that he found? Are these all the things we found in that treasure hoard?
As you look over it, you take a minute and kind of go down the list. And yeah, these are things that you guys found during
Yeah.
the last several years of adventuring together. You know,
Okay. So
the
there's
only thing
nothing
you don't recognize was the blue vials, but you can
Okay.
safely make the connection that those blue vials are what he was hiding from you.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
Um,
as I'm going down the list, I'm mumbling on myself. I'm like, yeah, poison darts here. There's a pit trap on this one. Oh, pendulum. Yeah, that was dangerous. And then I'm like, okay. So nothing stands out besides that.
correct.
Um, and I look at the list. I'm like, okay. The only thing I know right now is I do not know where those files came from. It's not something I only saw them when he came back to town on his way back here. It's not something we found when we were off on our out in the wild exploring.
Go ahead and give me an
So I
intelligence
think
check,
what we need to
actually.
do is try and figure out where
Are
he's.
you sure that he didn't possibly find it while you guys were out traveling, and you just didn't notice?
Huh?
Give me an intelligence check.
Yeah, I was about to say that I should do an intelligence check. Oh boy, 13.
13.
Come on, come on, think hard, man, think hard.
Big brain, big brain, big
Come
brain.
on, come on, come on.
So it takes you a minute as you think and you think
And I think.
and you think harder and something.
Yeah, exactly. With a four, I'm like, it's like no, no.
I
If
just see
we had
him then
found something
going.
like that, I most definitely would have. I would have remembered that. Something like that would have stuck out in my mind. I am dead certain it's not something we found out there. I can't
You
remember a time when he like got away from me and went off on his own. It just doesn't make any sense.
you what you remember is that it was not found on the Greying Wildlands. It was
Hmm.
found northwest of here on the islands of Islecross. Um,
Okay.
but you remember the segment of finding it in the dark and in a cave.
Hmm.
Maybe Croaker Cave has these too. You don't
Croaker
know.
Cave.
It's you know of it because it's local to here. It's northeast of town,
Mm-hmm.
um, like a few miles outside of town.
Okay.
But that's what you
There
remember.
it says so. Yeah. So there's probably a good. My guess, my hunch, my gut tells me that if we went just north of town to Kroger Caves, that's where we might find out some more information.
Well, then we need to head there immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. You're. Should we go? I guess. But there's just two of us. I mean, we need to get like. We're gonna need just a little more backup than that because I don't know how squishy you are, but it's always good
I
to
know
have a
it's
little more
something that
help.
we can try to see if we can convince him to go with us.
Um, so I do have
Yes,
a
you.
Try to
question.
convince. Yes.
Uh, are you guys still gonna attend the
Funeral that afternoon.
funeral? Yeah,
Well, I mean,
because you would know based on like being around this region, y'all do not have enough time to go because it's now like
hmm.
11:30 and it was taking place after lunch to go head to Croker Cave, come back and make the funeral. So you have to choose like
Oh,
what you're doing.
I I look at RJ and I think, wait, you're not thinking about the Ganassi, are you? I mean, he just goes whichever way the wind blows, and then I laugh a little bit and slap him on the back of the shoulder.
of course, I'm thinking about
Okay, I know it.
him. But
The
the
joke was there.
question
Come on. Yeah,
is do we want to miss out on your friend's funeral?
I can't. I cannot. I gotta be there at least in Ergon's memory. I gotta be there for him. Okay, so I need to be here for that. I don't know if the two of you want to go off on your own like that, or we can. And even if it's this afternoon, that means that we'll be traveling towards nightfall out to a cave.
Well, the only reason why I have second thoughts of not going now to go to the funeral is because this is something that's now affecting my parents.
Mm-hmm.
What you know is Ergon came back to town over 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Over two
He
months ago.
didn't die until 2 days ago. He
Question is how long do my parents have?
Mm-hmm.
he
Because when did they get infected?
Right.
right. He and Alwyn, you would know this, that if he was exposed, he would have been exposed before he sold the items.
Mm-hmm.
And he sold, between you and Ardian's knowledge, he sold them months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the first thing y'all did when you came to town was sold them off.
Right.
So he hadn't touched them in months. So connecting the dots,
We've got
he
time.
was
Yeah.
infected before he sold them and
Right.
took over 2 months to die from this disease.
Right.
So
Okay. New
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah. So I do what I can to reassure him. Like, look, we probably have time. We've got like this big of a window. I doubt it's gonna be something that's it's not gonna overtake them overnight or anything like that.
New plan.
Okay. New plan.
Go to funeral. We
Okay.
get prepared after funeral, and then we
Uh-huh.
leave early in the morning the next day.
I mean,
sounds
that's
like
a
Sound like a
safe thing
plan?
to do, but
Unless you
sounds like
want
a
to
plan to
go
me.
shortly after the funeral.
I'm gonna load you guys back onto the Jolly Dwarf. So I
hmm
assume that's where you guys are headed back to
I'm still
right.
there.
after this
Yep.
conversation. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still there as well. I'm probably.
Yeah. So You guys walk back. Do you guys talk about this at all on the way back?
I think we're probably discussing
I
it
think
on the
that's
way.
what we're discussing. What we were just discussing on the way back.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so you guys walk back. Nothing happens. You guys sweep back in, shuffle off the snow off your feet as you enter
Mhm.
into the Jolly Dwarf. Argus, what did you do during this time? Anything?
Um, I was thinking what I should do, not about what I would have been doing.
Fair.
Right.
um, well, like that really wouldn't have taken a ton of time, I don't guess.
Right. Yeah. But we don't want to hog all the time. Yeah, we are doing
No,
something.
no, no.
Things you gotta be doing too.
Just
I'm
in
kind of
general,
jumping
there
back
wouldn't have
and
been
forth.
ton of time to fill really.
Mhm.
I'll just say no. I just kept tending the bar, kind of biding
Shooting
my
the shit
time,
with Arl.
waiting for things to calm down so I can go
Just
find
shooting the shit.
these two myself.
Okay.
So they come back in. You now notice that the family has since left. I need to remove them off the. No.
Wait. Is my mead still there?
Argus, did you pick up Alwyn's mead cup or have Arl pick up the mead cup that was left behind
No,
when the family
I
vacated?
definitely picked it up. I don't like dirty dishes out in the bottom of the tavern.
So your
Oh
mead
no,
cup is
your
gone.
poor me.
I wouldn't be surprised if Arl just went over there, looked around, and just gulped it down himself. Nope, empty. Brought it back.
Could definitely see him doing that, but
Right.
Well,
you
couldn't
don't know what
possibly
happened.
let some good mead go to waste.
Yeah, but you don't know what happened to it, so it just
But it's
kind of
gone. They're gone.
yeah. It's
Just
you do
gone.
not have object permanence. um, but yeah, so me,
Mead gone.
Goblet got is gone.
Uh,
You don't know where it went.
sad face.
Fire's a little bit more stoked than when you left. Just looks like the place has been like cleaned up from the couple of people that have eaten and left, and there's still a few people in the bar, but there's like now like two.
Mhm.
And you recognize them like as people of the village. They don't like stand out as a weird person or unknown figure to you or anything like that. Um, but it's quieter now and
Mhm.
settling down a lot. You can assume that because it's getting to that point of like people getting ready for the funeral, that like some
Mhm.
people have gone to help, like prepare, or have left to like gather their things that they need to like pay tribute if they're doing that, and to prepare for the funeral. So, Argus, you see the two, uh, Alwyn and Ardine, come back into your establishments and kind of look like they're on a mission.
Um,
I tap Argus and says
that's,
we
that's
should probably go. We should probably go talk to him.
stiff breeze is gonna push him in the direction of the bar.
Do you allow him to push you kind of towards the bar, like you first?
Oh, I are you talking to Ardane or talking to me?
Talking to Alwyn, because
Oh,
Ardine was pushing you, right? That's what I heard.
oh, he's.
Or was that?
I actually I was just kind of like tapping. I was tapping Ardane on the shoulder, saying
Oh,
we should probably go. We should probably go talk to him.
right. And then I thought someone was pushing someone.
Well, I mean, I tapped on the shoulder. I didn't like shove him or anything.
Oh,
Like
okay,
that. It was more like
gotcha.
a hey, we should go talk to him.
So do you guys go up to the bar?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and
Yeah,
move
so
your
I walk.
tokens over to the bar.
All right.
Argus, you see these two familiar faces one of the bard that was playing in here earlier that you've seen frequently, that has rented rooms from you before for playing in your inn, and Alwyn, who you've seen around Palebank, but you haven't seen him in a bit, other than obviously earlier today. You knew that he like hung out with Ergon, and they kind of sit down on the bar stools. Who says what?
So tell me, what do you know of this disease? I'm not poison. I'm not sure what to call it.
So you remember the couple that were in here earlier today. I saw you
Yes.
go over there and talk to them. Well, they procured some vials from my shop that my shop bought off of
Ergon.
Ergon, and with a bunch of other stuff. And what was strange about it was they not only seemed interested in the vials, but a full list of all of the stuff that we bought off of him. And they tend to come in and buy a lot of stuff from us, but it was a little odd that they were so interested in not only the list of everything, but the 2 vials that were bought from them, and then to see that they had them with them here. But I have a feeling that whatever is in those blue vials is contagious in some form, because not only does my, what could be considered a shop help /
Yeah.
aid to my parents.
Yeah, shop help, employee.
Shop help.
Employee, yeah. Caretaker.
My shop employee / parent caretaker. I noticed that she has blue around her fingernails, and so does my parents, except my father has it much worse.
So I'm assuming he would have been the one who actually bought the items and received the first contact.
Well, he's the one that sold them. Well, actually, the person that bought them was completed the sale was Verila, which is strange that she completed the sale, but does not have the worst symptoms.
We might have to question your father a little bit to see if he maybe was handling it afterwards or anything like that.
First things first, probably contain these items, not just the vials, but all of the items in case. And maybe keep your parents and Virla at home, close the shop for a few days. Kind of try to.
Main thing is to figure out
contain
what's up with those vials
Mm-hmm.
and where they came from.
Definitely. But we have a funeral to go to.
Well, we will go to that first.
Let's keep them from the funeral. We do not need this causing a panic or spreading. And yes, let's go to this funeral.
I'm
and
gonna
maybe after
retcon
that,
this, and I apologize, but when you, Alwyn, when you went to go look to see if your your mead was still on the table, you kind of like saw a cloth in the chair.
Okay.
And like you were a little focused on the mead, but like
right.
You pause for a second and you think about it and you go, that was the same cloth, huh? So you walk over there and you go look, and sure enough, sitting in the chair is
Mhm.
both the vials wrapped in the cloth that Erval and Fenton left in the chair.
Mhm.
Um,
What?
yeah,
Huh?
It's here. Yeah. So
they left it behind.
Don't touch it.
okay.
I got some tongs. I got some tongs in the kitchen. Hold on.
Go get tongs to go touch it.
I go, hey guys, remember that thing we were talking about that does the thing? It's right here in the chair. That thing. It's right here. Two of them.
So how do you
Yeah,
guys pick
tongs.
it up?
Good idea. I like that.
You can pick it up with tongs.
Why would we pick it up with tongs? I just pick them up.
Well,
Um, how do you go about if you're just gonna pick them up? Like, are you being careful, or are you just picking them up?
Of
Like,
course, I am. I gently pick them up off of the chair.
okay.
In
And
the
I'm
cloth they're still
careful.
wrapped in, or
Yes.
So as you go to grab it, and you like carefully um, wrap the cloth back over,
Yeah.
and you
Yes.
pick it up, nothing happens.
yeah. I take one step away. Just watch, see if he does anything weird happens to him.
Well, it's not obviously not something that happens instantaneously, because otherwise my parents would be dead, and so would Verila.
You kind of like look at him. Nothing weird happens.
Okay, just
Just
I walk back
picks it up.
over to the bar with them.
Okay. Um, with that, we are 2 hours into our session, so we're gonna take a bathroom break.
okay.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna put us on intermission, and let's meet back here at. Is 10:20 enough time for you guys? 10 minutes?
10:20 sounds
We
fine.
have plenty of time.
All right, perfect. So we
One
will be
quick
back.
question
Yeah, absolutely.
I have: Are we gonna get to rolling for or figuring out what kind of money we have?
Yes, I will take care
Ooh.
of that on break.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just have to
All right.
use the restroom myself. So, all right,
All
we'll be
right.
No
back
problem.
here in a few minutes.
All right. Sounds good.
Alrighty.
so everybody's back from break, which is awesome, and we're all refreshed. So you guys had picked up the vials without touching it and brought it over to Argus. What are we doing with it?
I was thinking of using a spell of detect magic to see if I can detect any magic coming from it.
Ooh. Da, 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 da. You. That's got the ritual tag on it. So, you have a couple of options. Either you can expend your spell slot to cast it now, or you can sit there and focus on it for 10 minutes and cast it as a ritual and not use a spell slot.
I'll do that.
All right. So, you see Ardian kind of like focus in on it. And what color is your magic? Like that glows from your hands as you're like pouring your magic into this item to kind of detect what it is.
I would say I'm going with the green theme, so a very light colored green.
All right, so this light colored green just glows from his hands and extends out towards the vials, and you focus for 10 minutes, and like a little bead of sweat comes across your forehead, anime style. And this isn't magical.
Is not magical?
Is not magical.
Not magical.
Interesting.
As we're waiting and this is Argus casting the detect magic on it, right?
No, this is
Ardian.
Ardian?
Ardian.
Okay. So in that 10 minutes while we're waiting for him to divine into the vials and look at them, I explained to Argus about how we pretty much have figured out that it was probably there are some caves to the north of town, about 2 hours out, that more likely that's where Ergon found these vials. And so that's the place we should go to.
I'm going to correct that for you. It's not where he would have found the vials. It's that you knew he found the vials in a cave in Islecross, which is
Islecross, okay.
across the ocean, like on a different set of islands if you want to look at the world map. But because you know it's in a cave, you drew a connection that there might be maybe some of these in Croaker Cave. You don't know because you haven't gone to explore that. Because you've never been in there. You never had a reason to go. But like it just makes sense that like maybe they might have it too.
Right.
Is it restricted to Isle?
Composition.
Yeah, it's like you don't know if it's restricted to Islecross where this was found, or is it in all caves? That's kind of what I was like feeding you was like cave information specifically, dark, damp places. So that's where it was found.
Okay.
Based on what you rolled. So I wish I could give you more. Like as your DM, I wish I could give you more. But yeah, so that's kind of like why you made that connection.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good because I was in that 10 minute during our break. I was really torn. I'm like, we should probably leave now. Time is of the essence. But if it's more of a hunch that if X exists here, it might exist in Y as well over here. We could probably going to funerals probably still a great idea. For me is a good idea. And then in first thing in the morning we can set out to go see if there's possibly a connection to the caves north of here.
Perfect. Alrighty. So, we'll say for the sake of time that you guys sat here and discussed this, filled everybody in. I assume you're also asking for Argus's help during this time. Like, will you help us?
Right. Asking about like here's where maybe we should, or at least as we do in my other D&D groups, we'll use the word spiel. It's like I spiel, which means anything I've learn from my role playing.
Yeah,
Here's what I know. Let's put that out all out on the table so we can all discuss that.
perfect. Okay, so you guys discuss that. If no one else wants to do anything, we can kind of fast forward to going to the
I think that's what we'll do.
ceremony at the
Hmm.
graveyard. All right. So you guys know where this graveyard is. It's not ridiculously far, like 100 or so feet outside of town. I'm gonna
Hmm.
move you over to the map for the graveyard, and
Oh, okay.
we'll drag you guys back out onto the map. Uh, bloop, bloop, bloop. And I did not put NPCs here,
Hmm.
but the entire town is here. So it
Hmm.
is bumper to bumper people traffic in the
Okay.
graveyard. Families are kind of like clustered together. The the whispers of what you guys hear as you walk into the graveyard is, you guys heard how he died, right? And things that you know, but like everybody's becoming aware. Like it's like when some juicy gossip goes on
Hmm.
at the
Right.
park between moms. That's what's happening right now in the graveyard. So, but it's hush. They're trying to be respectful. Several people have flowers. Um, uh, Ergon, for not having family here, was a very well respected member of the community. And you guys know this, that he was respected because he brought riches into the economy of Palebank. That's why people respected him. Um, as people are like funneling in, you guys funnel in, find like a spot to stand, to pay your respects. You hear Ilro pipe up, and his voice booms for a second. Uh, for my magic users, you recognize this as the uh, uh, oh my god, is it the thaumaturgy? It's thaumaturgy
Right. And
that makes
to
his
project.
voice, yeah, projects his voice, that gets everybody's attention, and he goes, "People of Palebank, let's focus our attentions to pay our respects for our dear friend Ergon. Ergon passed with our utmost condolences, and we are here to bury him today." And you still hear a couple whispers, and Erlo like snaps his head to those people, and they instantly shut up.
Hmm.
And no one is talking. So it is now eerie quiet in the afternoon of this graveyard as he gives tribute. Is there anyone who would like to say anything on Ergon's behalf before we put his remains in the ground? And he waits for a minute.
I will. Yeah. Alwyn will, and it's kind of left it open, and there's that kind of that awkward silence, and I'll kind of raise my hand and walk to the front uh, to talk to the crowd.
Okay. You see his token, right? Like where he's at in front of the podium pavilion?
So right here.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I see that there.
Okay. So
Okay,
you
and
can go up there if you
two
want.
yeah, two questions as I move over there. What
Sure.
is the weather like right now for the afternoon? And are there any glass blades, roaming about the scene?
There's glass blades. They're not roaming. I would say there's like a handful, like um
Hmm.
let's there's 8 that you notice like throughout the
Hmm.
crowd.
Right,
Um and they're set up just kind of like spread out.
right.
And they aren't doing anything. They're just kind of there to pay their respects as well as um just like anybody else. They're with being such a small village, the glass blades are integral parts of a community. So they're not
Mhm.
only the security, but they're also citizens. So they're invested in this as well. Um, and you get the air as you walk up that like several people are hoping that they get information as to how he died, because what's been
Mhm.
spread around is very nerve-wracking to
Right.
the
Right.
population. Um, but Erlo kind of nods, recognizes you, and kind of steps aside and lets you take place in the center below the steps to the pavilion,
Mhm.
um, to say something.
I and clasp my hands a little bit. Good people at Palebank. We are here to mourn the loss of our friend Erlon, but let us let us remember that let us remember how he lived instead of focusing on how he died. He his his work, his adventures, his treasures always brought him back here, and the town was the most important thing to him above anything else.
You kind of hear
So,
some nods, and a couple of the
mhm,
dwarves like raise their fists in solidarity.
right. So as we move forward without him, let us in our own part do as he has done. Let us work together, not for ourselves, but for our small town. And then I bow, and then I leave.
Before you leave, while
Hmm.
you're close to the dais, go ahead and give me a
Hmm.
perception check.
Oh, so right here.
Correct. Like
Okay, okay.
close to Erlo or wherever you were actually
Okay,
standing.
perception.
Holy hell.
And then,
21.
oh, I swear I'm going back to my dice. I'm going back to my dice. The rollers hate me.
You rolled a 21. Why would you say
Oh wait,
that?
wait. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm super
but
confused.
it's not scrolled all the way. It's where I was scrolled at. All I saw was a roll of four, and I'm like, that's yeah, that's horrible.
Oh, no, no. No, you're
That
good.
yeah, that's okay. Okay, I take that back.
So, as
I
you go to like finish your last statement and you
mm-hmm,
kind of look over your shoulder at Ergon's body,
mm-hmm.
and as you go to like turn back, you swore you saw the body twitch. And you look again, and the hand of Ergon is no longer at his side.
Mm-hmm.
It is propped up like 90 degrees to his body. And you hear this sound escape his lips.
um,
What sound was that? Because I didn't hear it.
yeah, I didn't hear that sound
It's
either.
sorry, it's really hard to do because that's a really guttural sound, but it's like
uh,
Yeah.
out of his mouth.
All right. The funny part is right now we're getting a monsoon rolling through here, and the wind is picking up outside. So that's through my headphones. I'm like hearing this howl outside. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
uh it was very soft,
Uh
like
huh.
you heard it. um
Mm-hmm.
Erlo did not
Did not hear it.
seem to respond to any noise, and the
Uh huh.
people that are in front of you are too far away to have noticed it.
As subtly as I can, I'm going to, go over, clasp hands with Erlon, like, thank you for letting me speak, and I'm gonna give his hand a pretty tight squeeze and like a twist towards the body, like, look over there, look back at me, do something, and I'm gonna walk away, and then as as subtly as I can, make my way to my friends and say, okay, guys, we got a problem. Just a little bit of a problem. He's moving.
Erlo, in that exchange,
Hmm.
looked at you with complete bewilderment.
Right.
and has no idea what you were wanting him to do
Mm-hmm.
and is super confused
Right.
and just kind
That's
of
fine.
stands there perplexed for a minute. Um, as you make your way back to the party, you don't hear anything, but you see the body twitch again now that you're looking
Oh,
for it.
Lord.
Right. So I will, yeah, as soon as I get back, I like clasp them both in the shoulders like we're friends. I'm like, all right, sun's about to go down. Whisper, whisper, body moving, be ready.
Um, as
Thinking he's
you do
gonna
this,
all of a sudden.
you
This is
see the body of Ergon sit upright.
Oh my God.
And he,
Oh,
like,
no.
Now,
at
luckily, yeah,
and
luckily from
surveys
where
his
we're at, there, yeah,
surroundings.
yeah,
Um,
from where we're at, there's a bunch of headstones here. I'm hoping, so
yes.
this should protect us from the ensuing chaos and the stampede.
So people start seeing this happen. Erlo looks over his shoulder and goes, "Oh God!" and just starts running in terror. um,
Oh God.
uh, so he's gonna move
Like,
to right about here and dash action away as some of the other people start realizing, and he's like, "Move, go, get out of the graveyard!" And they are like, so people are like funneling out. There's an exit here
uh-huh.
and an exit on this side, and so
And,
people
and
are
our and our
scrambling
local,
out both
yeah,
ways.
our
Um,
local militia. What is their reaction to this?
terror.
Terror.
Like they're helping, like the 8 glass blades that are in here
Uh-huh.
are will put themselves, like, you know how they operate. They will put themselves in the way of of other villagers being hurt, but their
Right.
goal right now is to follow Erlo's instructions and get everybody out. Um, so as um, Ergon sits up, it's no longer the friendly brown-haired black beard
Right.
of your friend that you saw. His body has been converted to completely coated in blue. Blue veins up his face. His eyes are completely glossed over with blue. And there is lights on, but nobody's home, and that is where we're going to roll initiative.
Okie dokie.
So I will get you guys added to the turn order, or you guys can.
Oh dang! I didn't select myself. Let's see. No, should come out.
I'm gonna
Huh,
add
okay.
Erlo to the turn order just for the sake of villager movements.
Right.
Ooh.
So
And there is a stranger adjacent behind us, like that. Yeah, it's in the turn order, but yeah,
yeah.
there's someone back there. Oh my!
Mine's a little bit better than yours. Not great though.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
Oops, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And he rolled
You-
higher than we did.
How do I? Okay, I descending. That's what I wanted. Perfect.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna start the initiative rounds right here. So
I don't see Argus on the turn order there.
Ergon
I see
is
no
Elro.
Argus. I don't see
Argus.
Argus on the.
Yeah, I'm not on there.
I can add you
Mhm.
in there since something happened. So your initiative was 4, and There we go.
Boom.
Fixed.
All
Ta-da!
right.
I somewhat know what I'm doing as a DM on Roll20 that I haven't used in like a year. So, ta-da! I did a thing. All right. So, Alwyn, top of the turn order, you are first.
Okay. Well, we will try diplomacy. I'm gonna move forward to about here. Is there a token for Ergon on the that you can put on the map so we know kind of where his
Ergon
body is
is
at, or
on
his?
the
He's up there.
dais. He's on the
Oh, it's
dais.
on, so it's so right here then.
He's up here.
Oh, he's up there. Okay,
Yeah,
he's all the
he
way up
was
there.
laying flat, like, so there's the stairs to the dais,
Uh-huh.
and then there's another platform that they were basically
Gotcha.
like had him resting on
Mm-hmm.
it before they buried him. Like, so if people wanted to come up and show their respects, they could have
All
gone
right.
up to the platform and like it's kind of like an open casket for all
Right. Right.
intents and purposes. So,
Okay.
so yeah.
I'm gonna move forward as far as I can. I've got my bow out. I've got an arrow knocked. It's not pointed or anything like that,
Okay.
but I will just yell, Ergon, if you are in there at all or anything, tell me that you remember me and remember my face.
And you're gonna wait for a response.
Okay.
I will wait for a response. I've got an arrow knocked in the bow, but I am
Okay.
I'm
So,
waiting
are
to.
you holding the action of loosing a bow or losing an
Yes,
arrow? Okay, if
loosing
he
an arrow to see what
responses.
his reaction is. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can do. So, arrow is the next up for all the NPCs. Uh, I will say he can get out like 10 people at a time out of each gates. So, I'm going to just keep track of like how many NPCs are left.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have 120 people that came and 20 just got out on his turn as he's like ushering people and directing the glass blades, and you just hear him yelling, and it's loud because he's using thaumaturgy to like bark
Right.
orders at people and get them out of his way. So, and then we'll go to Ardian. Your turn. Your first combat experience, you guys. So exciting.
Fireball.
Well, I guess I move in somewhat tuned to Elwyn.
Elwyn.
Okay.
Yes.
At the moment, I'm just running up. I don't have anything specifically set.
Right.
So you have a couple options. You can knock an arrow as well because you do have a short bow. Um, you're at a range of throwing a dagger, but you can definitely shoot an arrow at him if you want. Uh, you can cast Unseen Servant if you wanted to, like, try and use him as a distraction. But those are about the only actions
Since at
you
the
have
moment,
at
I
the
don't
moment.
entirely know what exactly is going on, other than that he's
Right.
set up.
Okay, so
I
clarify for me. Are you saying that like in character you don't know what's going on or out of character? I just want to make sure that like I haven't
well, in
confused you.
character, all I know at this moment is that he has set up and everyone's fleeing.
Okay,
So
perfect.
uh,
Um,
I not until I feel that there's any actual danger, I am going to just
you can
more or
hold
less.
your action too and hold a
I'm
short
gonna
bow.
more or less. Uh, I might pull out the short bow and just kind of keep it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things you can do in D&D is called hold action,
Right.
and it uses your action to wait for an event to happen. So like you can even say like for role play purposes, like you saw Alwyn hold his bow, say the statement because you would have heard it, and then you're following his lead and holding yours as well at the ready to loose your arrow if what he said doesn't resound within Ergon, and then you can let it go. You will forfeit your action if we get back to your turn and you haven't loosed your arrow.
Okay.
But like, and the same thing goes for spells, but ultimately, like, you're not really losing out on anything by holding the action.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's hold the action.
Perfect. All right. So Argus, you are on deck. It is now your turn, and you didn't want to do anything else, right? Like, you don't want to move more. I don't think you can, but
I think I did, but as
30.
far as I could go.
Yeah.
Okay.
30
Yeah,
feet.
I thought you did too. I just wanted to make sure. So, all right. So Argus, your turn.
Alright, I guess I too will move in closer.
Okay. So your movement speed is also 30.
So you'd be in about within tune with where we are at.
Yeah, like right behind them.
Yeah, okay.
Human shield.
Human shield.
Yeah, exactly. Well, humanoid shield. We can't be specific about that.
All right. So you moved up 30 feet, and what are you doing?
Oh, us.
I'm hearing a lot of.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that
Background.
sound is.
I think it's Tyler's fans.
Okay.
Not a super big deal. Um. So Argus, are you casting a spell? You looking? What you're doing?
I think I will hold my action and try to maybe help funnel some of the people through and keep them calm, get them out faster.
Okay, so you can do one or the.
After wait and
You
see
can
what he
do
does.
like you can say something to people like go this way as a free action, but like if you're gonna actively help them, that's gonna take your action. But if you're not and you're gonna
Yeah,
hold
no,
like
no.
a
I just
spell
wanted to
or
basically, like you said, just
Free
yeah.
action.
I'm just gonna hold.
Sustain. Go that way.
what action are you holding? Are you holding an attack with your quarterstaff, or are you holding ice knife? Um,
It'd be a spell.
a spell.
Okay.
All right. So
Jim's
which
magic
spell?
missile.
Magic missile. All right. Perfect.
Wait.
Jim's, yeah.
Great.
Is that Jim dark magic missile or just Jim's dark magic missile?
It's just standard magic missile.
Just Jim's. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so Ergon, you say that you're his friend, and the words fall on deaf ears. There's
Yeah, I was
no response from him as he um, goes to head towards you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna put him right.
Whoa, he's
Oh,
booking
boy.
it, isn't he?
Yep.
Dun,
You
dun,
can-
dun, 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 dun.
So he just
Um,
like gets up, and you just see this dwarvish figure just down the stairs and come cascading towards you, and gets the edge of your movement. And as he gets
Right.
there, and he just goes
Oh, drop
in
'em.
your face, and you guys can all let your actions go. So we'll do Alwyn's first.
All right.
So go ahead
God.
and
Yeah, light him up.
light 'em up,
Light
boys.
him up now.
I picked the wrong spell.
All right.
That's gonna
I
hit.
wasn't expecting that.
Let's see, and that's
Nine.
9. It's 9 piercing.
All right. And so shortly after you loose your bow, Ardian follows in effect. Go ahead and loose your bow too.
So I just roll for hit.
Yes.
Oof.
6 is gonna miss. Um,
Hey,
and
there's
then
a blue one that dwarf came at you. It's a little hard to focus.
it's terrifying. It's like
Yes.
clanking of armor, and you're seeing like ice fall off his body and the ice crunch under his feet and these terrifying, like, glossed over eyes with those veins. It's a terrifying sight. And then magic missile is an auto hit, so you rolled 3 force damage. So you see him recoil a little bit as 3 of the missiles go over top of your guys' heads and just like come crashing down on top of Ergon and thunk, 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 thunk. And you see him recoil a little bit, but he's
It's not doing much.
still standing. It's doing damage. It
Right.
did its full extent of damage. Like but he's
He
still
acts
he's
as
still
if he
up.
didn't even feel it.
Correct.
Okay, I got an idea.
Oh no.
Okay. And that ends his turn, so we're back up at the top of the round. So Alwyn, your turn.
Alwyn. All right. I'm just gonna yell to the spread out, and I'm gonna move just over here by this rock this way,
Okay.
and I'm gonna shoot another arrow at him.
Okay. Go for it. Yeah.
That's
Hit.
in the back and head for another 8 points.
Alrighty. Another 8 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, is that end your turn?
That's my turn right there.
Okay, perfect. So, Elro's turn with Ardian on deck. He's going to yell again, and he's going to move with everyone this time, and another 20 people get out. So, it's still a lot of people, but there's not anyone, like, within range of you guys, of like 10 feet of
Right.
you guys right now. Like, they are scattering out of the graveyard, and screams and kids are crying, men are trying to be
Crying.
strong and protect their families and get them out. Erlo's still barking orders. There's a couple glass blades intermittently around, but obviously they're still distracted, so helping get people out. Ardian, your turn.
I move to here,
Okay.
and I go to shoot my bow again.
Okay.
I,
Go ahead and loose another arrow. That'll definitely hit. I'll roll damage.
Seven.
Alright, 7 damage. Perfect. Got it. Alright, Argus, we are back to you.
I am gonna cast my racial feat spell, levitate.
Nice.
On what?
On what's his name?
Ergon.
Argon.
Okay. And that can lift 500 pounds, so that is not a problem. So, how do you cast this?
The cloud at my feet grows and grows and rushes toward him and picks him up off the ground and lays him on his back.
Okay. And are you
Holds him
raising
there.
him the full 20 feet up into the air? Because you can raise him vertically 20 feet.
I'd say keep him about 5 feet off the ground where he couldn't touch the ground, can't
Okay.
touch anything around him to move and maneuver basically, but not
Okay.
high enough to where they can't get to him so they can straight pinata his ass.
Okay.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
So not out of range of the party, but able to not walk either.
Not really able to move on its own and kill us, which is always a good thing.
Okay. So I will say that for the sake of that, he won't be able to attack unless someone is within range. Like, and you guys would understand that based on you see this cloud hover him up in the air.
Right up in the air.
So
It will
he's
be it's a Constitution saving throw.
oh,
Yeah, for him.
yeah, no. Nope, didn't do it. So he raises up into the air and just kind of stays there. So um, you hear not
Let's
happy
get
zombie
some more people
noises
outta here, at least.
Not happy zombie noises.
out of
Mhm.
his mouth. And then Alwyn, it's your turn again.
All right. Who of the three of us do we have did we bring the vials with us here,
I
or
still have them.
you
I
still
would
have
say
them?
someone would have them, yeah.
Yeah. And is that Argus who has them, or is that Ardain?
We
I
can
think I have
retcon
the
that.
best.
Who grabbed them off the bar?
Me. Oh, I figured it was probably me since I had originally picked them up.
Yeah, you
Right
kind of were.
here.
Leading that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna knock another arrow and not fire it, but I will yell at Ardain to show him the vials and see if he reacts to it.
Okay. And you're holding your action for until after he
Yeah,
does that.
I'm holding action, but I'm gonna ask Ardain to show him the vials
Okay.
to see if it causes any type of reaction. Knowing what I know about Ergon before he died, quote
Okay.
unquote, died.
That's very insightful. So we'll hold your action for that. Elro's turn. He is gonna stay put, but usher another 20 people out. So we're now down to approximately 80 people left inside the graveyard. So it's getting more and more out every turn. And Ardian, your turn.
I guess I pull out the vials and kind of show him out so he can see them, I guess.
Are you just holding them out, or are you doing anything else?
I guess just holding them out.
Just holding them out? Yeah.
Uh,
You just hear the same, like, sounds that have been
So no
emanating out of
reaction.
his mouth the entire time
Alright.
with no reaction.
Yeah, it was worth a try.
For sure. Your friend is still in body, but his soul is gone. So whatever was left before is no longer present. As you come to this realization and loose your arrow.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay. That'll hit.
Okay, another 9 points damage.
Okay. And then so that was your hold action. So Ardian, you still have your action, because that holding those up is a free interact. So
Right.
what
so
would?
I guess I put them back away safely.
Okay.
Which is that also a free action?
Yeah.
And then am I able to actually roll the hit?
Yeah.
With a bow, or do I have to re-ready it again?
No, you can totally like have it out, grab the vials out, no reaction, put them back, knock an arrow, and
Alright,
let one
I'm
fly.
gonna let one fly then. So for hit.
That
15.
will hit. So 6 damage. Alrighty. And that ends your turn. Right? You're not moving or
Yes.
anything?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Argus, your turn.
I think. How's he looking? As far as like
He's not happy.
wise.
He's definitely not happy. There's several arrows sticking out of random parts of his body. Um, it, like the White Walkers from Game of Thrones. That's what this kind of, well, like out of character reminds you of.
Right.
Like the arrows cause him to like ooze blue as the wounds penetrate
Yeah. I was
the
gonna ask
icy
that. It was
skin.
oozing blue on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of that like drizzles through your cloud and like lands on the ground. It doesn't have any like effect, but you can like hear the blood splatter or what looks like iced over blood. And he's definitely not doing good, but he's not out for the count yet either. So,
I think I'll go with an ice knife then. Why not?
is hold on just a second. So,
Oop. Yep.
is Ice Nice is not concentration, so okay, that's what I was checking.
Gotcha.
Just wanted to make sure like it wasn't, because you can't have two concentration spells going at the same time. So you're good. That was a 20 to hit. That'll hit for 7 piercing damage. So, and there's no other enemy targets around, so I'm not gonna have it jump to a non-existent target. So no DC save for that. And then, okay, Ergon's turn. If I can get that to switch. Don't do anything yet. So let's see, where did it go? Argus, give me a perception check.
Which person?
Argus.
Okay.
Perception?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at those.
Usually.
Usually. So, between the pattering of footsteps of everybody cascading out, you don't hear the footsteps of this woman rushing up to you. And that's gonna hit. So
Oh, I tend to do that.
you're gonna take 6 points of damage as a dagger gets shoved into your back. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for your spell.
Oh, good lord. Lady, don't you know I just used my last spell slot? How dare you? Constitution.
You save.
Oh, goodness.
By 2, but you saved. So when you do a Constitution saving throw, you have to beat the damage that you've taken. So you're good. Your levitate spell does not drop the zombie.
That's good.
And this person then moves just a little bit to the side of you. What you see is her, like, it's definitely female, but her face is obscured as this happens. You don't know whether it's the searing pain of the blade in your back or the confusion of the people around you, or maybe some combination thereof, but it definitely that did not feel good.
All right.
You got your damage, right? That you took?
Alright, so.
So you're down to 2 HP out of 8.
Yeah.
Because you took 6 points of damage from her. And then, Alan, it is your turn.
Got it.
Okay. Did Argus scream out in pain at all?
Yeah,
or
you would have
could I-
heard him like, ah, as he got
Like,
stabbed.
what the
Big
hell?
alley.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Something
let's see.
bit me.
Yes. All right.
Someone
It is.
bit you.
Yeah. It is just within range for me to move right over next to him and take a swing at this person
Okay. Go
with
for
my
it.
short sword.
Okay.
So let's see. Oh, I said attack. There it goes. Okay.
Let her hit me if we got 2 people.
13.
I'm not sure that's enough to hit her.
And of course,
It
my
is
like.
13. Yeah, and is 13 enough to hit or no?
Yes.
Okay.
The short sword? Yeah, fine.
Yep.
Oh, you moved up close, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, wait a second, short sword. What happened here?
So
Might have
6
gotten a tad
points.
distracted.
Yeah. Now I do have 2 weapon fighting in my as for bonus action, but that's without bonus. So
Correct.
this will be just straight. No, just a straight 14,
Yep, that'll
which
hit.
I think that hits as well.
Yep.
I'm hoping.
Yes,
Okay.
it does.
Let me. Let's see. And that should be the damage.
Okay.
Did damage not roll?
That's why I stood in the
It did.
back.
10
Huh,
piercing.
okay. Did the damage come through or no?
Yeah.
Oh
it
yeah,
did.
10 points piercing. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
No one kills my friends but me. Wait, that's not what I said.
Is that in your turn?
Wait, what?
No one kills my friends but me.
Wait.
I love it.
I was confused by Ergon. I'm like, my brain's a couple places right now.
That's now canon. But yeah, is that in your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay. So Erlo is gonna usher another 20 people out and kind of move a little bit more so towards the exit. You see him like look at the person and like an incredulous face. Not in recognition, but just in the fact that that happened. And that ends his turn. So, Guardian.
Since that seems to be being taken care
Save
of, I'm
me,
gonna
pretty buff
continue
man.
to focus my attention.
I love it.
Pretty
That's
buff
canon
man.
too. That has to be canon.
Definitely.
Let's see. I direct my attention from the zombie dude.
Okay.
And I go to use or cast healing word to try to heal Argus.
Okay. Go ahead and cast your spell. And tell me how you, like, what your healing word looks like. Like, or what words do you speak to heal him?
Oh, you're throwing me onto the spotlight.
I know. I told you I was gonna.
Yeah.
I gave you forewarning.
Yeah. You could do the Mr. Miyagi where you clap both hands together and start rubbing very fierce. That's
Wax on, wax off.
exactly, and then
I start doing a little jig. And go.
the healed.
I shall heal you.
Great. So this green energy just like whooshes over out of your hands from you, and the words trail along with it and go to Argus and heal him for 8 points, which means you are back up to full health there, friend.
No, mama.
So you see the dagger, like you feel the dagger wound in your back, like kind of close up and heal, and the blood kind of like crusts over. There's still a hole in like your clothing that you can feel the cold of the winter piercing through, but the wound itself is no longer there and prevalent, and you kind of like stretch for a second, Argus, and feel much, much better. And you kind of look, and Ardian's the one like healing you from a distance.
Doing a jig, going, I shall heal you.
Yeah.
Never speak of
Love
this
it.
again.
So that is your bonus action for healing. So you still have an action. You can't cast another spell, but if you wanted to like knock an arrow, you
I think
totally
I'm
still
gonna
can.
focus my attention back to
Wink at her.
the zombie guy.
Zombie
and
guy.
I'm gonna shoot off an arrow.
Okay. Roll to hit.
21.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
And I roll a 5.
Nice.
Piercing.
Cool. Another arrow sticks out of his body, like right in the thigh. You hear a groan escape his lips from the impact. And then we'll go to Argus. It's your turn.
Yeah, he looks like that moment in Minecraft after you fought the skeleton. You got arrows sticking out all of your body. Like, ow, they look like it hurts.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm gonna turn to this lady. I'm gonna say, "Do you know how hard it is to find nice robes in this town?" And then I'm gonna smack her with my quarterstaff.
All right, roll the hit. I love it. That'll hit. When you turn to look at her, she is not wearing armor. So she has this black scarf across her face with a black hood, and the black hood fades into blue at the tips, almost like a hood that connects into a dress. So
Huh.
I don't know what you did, but it's not
I hit her
possible.
so soft.
There's no
I
way
hit
to
her.
roll 0.
Yeah.
My mom says don't hit women. I got a -1.
Oh no! So you
Oh,
rolled
no.
you rolled a 1 for damage.
You clunked her on the head and just like.
So you
Mom
you
says I
like,
You
can't
didn't
hit
plunk
women.
her, you plunked yourself on the head.
that's so awesome though. I was like so confused for a second. I was like, how did you roll 0 damage? Like
It's like when you're dreaming and you hit really hard, but then it's like a tap.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like if a kid was hitting you with one of those foam like
Yeah.
things from our childhood, and it just goes
Wow.
and it kind of like bounces off her, and she like had like you saw like her hand move and like swish the quarterstaff out of the way as you like went to hit at her, so she kind of like deflected your attempt to or your
So
you
she
did hit
like
but
the,
like
the classic '90s movie trope where you hit them and they just kind of laugh a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
The laugh that you hear escape out of her mouth, for lack of a
It's
different way to
hilarious.
describe it, sounds cold.
Mm.
So Argus, does that end your turn?
Should have levitated her.
No. The zombie is fine to levitate. You're good there. Very good there.
Um,
Well, I also have 2 weapon fighting, and I have a staff and a quarter staff. Is that how that works?
you can basically like swing once and then pull it back around and swing again.
Right.
So you
Yeah,
can roll another
But
hit.
the second swing is not going to be with any bonuses on it.
Correct.
So it'd be like a straight D20 roll. You can use the dice roller right there on the screen. No, dang.
Ah,
Gotcha.
You don't need any bonus.
that'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. No modifier.
Please.
No modifier, which is actually helpful for you.
Straight D20.
D6 for damage.
Yeah.
D6. Oh.
D6,
Yep.
no modifier.
Oop, oop.
So no negative
Disregard
to your
that.
offhand, which is hilarious. This is how D&D is broken.
hmm
You must be left-handed.
Pool neutered her.
There it goes.
Pool noodled her.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you rolled a 1 for damage?
There you go.
Okay. Hey, it's damage. It's damage. You hit, and you did damage. So it's good.
You've
gave
got
her
like
a
a
paper
balsa
cut.
wood staff. That's all there is to it. It's like this. Whiff.
Bonk.
I love it.
You have a wiffle
Bonked
staff.
her on
Like
the
there's
head.
little holes in it. Just
And she's got a baby scrape on her forehead from it.
Yeah. It's like her version of like a Harry Potter scar now, and she looks back at you just pissed.
He just like lightly bonked her on the head.
Yeah. But this is why I love making characters that make them take a dumb stat, because it makes you true to your character. Like,
That's true.
It's great. All right, so Ergon's
I knew
turn
this would happen, so.
doesn't do anything other than just like lets out those raspy groans again, which I'm not going to do because it hurts my throat. And Alwyn, we're back to you.
okay.
And I should add her to the turn order because she is
Mhm.
after the last person. So
If it wasn't that there's someone
Me.
trying to kill us right now, I would probably gawk at Argus. But we've got things to settle here first.
we got things to do and people to kill.
That's right. That's
Alright.
the first one. Huh?
Yeah,
That's
that'll hit. And you are doing this at the
Yeah, at the woman, at the
lady.
assassin.
okay.
So that's 6 there, and I'm gonna take one more swing.
A hit.
Dang, the dice are liking me. I like this.
Mhm. Jeez. Okay. Got it.
So that's
So you stab and then you come back, or like you stab and then you slash through as you pull back on your stab, and that hurt.
well,
lot.
I do have 2 short swords, so it's like
Oh.
it's slash.
Oh, is it slash slash? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't actually look to see if
That's
you have
okay.
2 in your inventory. I apologize. So yeah,
I
slash
do.
slash. So Erlo's turn. Another 20 people are out. Glass blades have pushed most of them. He's gonna move up again. So kind of get out of the fray a little bit more. And that ends his turn. The screams and footprints are starting to die down for noise, as like there's only like 40 people left, as they are running out. And Ardian.
Again, I'm going to let off another arrow
Okay. At the zombie or at
at the zombie, yeah.
Okay.
Because they seem to be taking care of what's going on over there, so.
that will
Light
hit.
bonking and swords.
Mm-mm. I love it. Great. Okay, so that'll hit.
Is that it?
So go and roll
A 4.
4. Math. reverse math. So much fun. All right.
Mhm.
So you knock another arrow and like sticks in his arm. Uh, are
Damn,
you
it could
staying
barely
put?
stick. It goes through his belt and barely breaks the
I
skin.
think I'll stay still.
Okay. Perfect.
So
Argus.
far, there's no need to move.
Ah, your turn.
I want to run and hide. How
uh,
about
you can run.
frostbite? I can still do cantrips, right?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
yeah, I'll do frostbite.
Frostbite? Okay, so you need a con save.
Yes.
Uh, she saved. And so, like, as you cast this and, like, ice leaves your hands and you place your hands on her, she kind of, you see, like, her eyes, like, go more blue. And you finally, like, look at her for the first time, and her skin is even tinted blue. And not like your color blue, but like ice blue.
Like the guy that we're currently fighting.
Do I do?
It's similar.
Do we know this person?
Uh, you do not recognize this person.
Mhm.
But while her skin looks similar to Ergon's, you have not heard any of these same noises coming from Ergon as, like, her. She's, like, grunted, but, like, in pain from some of the damage that you've done, but it's human sounding. And it's alive sounding.
Okay.
And that's what I can give you with that.
So
As
not
she,
zombie-like.
no, as she brushes off the effects of your would-be cold damage. Um, Ergon still can't do anything, and then it's her turn. She's going. You hear the words that escape out of her lips just under her breath, and she goes, "Loyalty to winter will preserve the world." And you see her eyes that were blue before now completely went blue, like what Ergon's looked like, and spread completely from her irises all the way through the whites of her eyes. And you can it's almost like you can see ice shards in her eyes. And she, like, kind of does that, like, shiver as, like, a shimmer goes across the rest of her body and gives her, like, glistening, almost wet look to her skin. And she just goes to run. And you guys both get attacks of opportunity as she goes to leave.
That's right.
So, go
Take
ahead
her
and...
down.
She's about to beat feet. I think that's not good enough.
That just hits her. And is her armor class.
Ooh, so just hit her.
So,
She's
you
got,
want to
she's
make
got
note of that.
disadvantage on her next weapon attack roll, so actually it hit her more.
So 8 damage.
8 damage, yes.
Okay. And then Argus, do you want to take your attack of opportunity?
Hit her with a staff, please.
It's
I'm
hilarious.
gonna bonk her again.
Give her a good bonk on the noggin.
Give her the old double bonk again, I guess.
Please say it's just enough to knock you conscious like that. Kunk.
That'll hit.
All right, come on. Big money, big money.
Knock her unconscious. Come on. Give her a good bonk.
If you roll a 1 again, I swear to God. Okay. So,
Not bad.
4. Is it 4 damage then? Because.
That is.
Oh, yeah, right? 4? 58?
Well, I see 5 and 7.
Yeah, but
don't know
he
what
has
that
a
means.
-1, so did it subtract that already? Because.
That minuses it. Yeah, it does it for me. 'Cause
Okay.
It
Oh,
would,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like with the other
Would've
rolls.
been higher.
So yeah,
Okay.
so it would have been a thunk.
Okay.
And then I go again with the.
You only get
This
one
one.
attack.
Yeah,
As
attack
an
of
attack
opportunities
of
are only
opportunity.
one.
Yeah, so you
Oh,
don't
oh,
get to
yeah,
use
yeah,
your
it was
offhand.
opportunity. Okay,
Because
yeah,
you're
yeah,
using
yeah.
your reaction to attack.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
only get like 1 swing at her.
Okay.
But yeah,
Got it.
so she takes the damage and still kind of. And it's been a minute because I've just gotten back into DMing again. But attacks of opportunity, if you hit, that doesn't keep her from moving. It
Mhm.
just gives her damage unless you tried to grapple her.
Right.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an
Oh
option.
my lord.
Yeah.
You really moving.
Yeah. So
Oh, dang it.
Grab
she
her.
moves
Bow her.
and
You can't quite move that fast. Look at her.
I
Elron,
wanna
grab
say-
her.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
The
not
people
paying
dial,
attention
man,
enough.
You gotta do it.
Yep.
Oh.
So she's out the gates and has mingled in with some of the people that are rushing out the gate too, and that ends her turn.
Okay.
Alwyn,
Can I no longer?
you can still
no
see
longer
her.
See her?
Yeah,
But
I have an
she's
idea.
blending, yeah.
but
Oh,
there are
wait,
people around
what's
her.
the idea?
Well, once it becomes my turn, I do have my unseen servant.
Mm-hmm.
I could
Far
use
away
it
can you
to
cast that?
grab her.
Unseen Servant, I think, can only lift like so many pounds. It's like
Well, I'm not
less than.
saying to lift her,
Uh-huh.
but just grab onto her,
Grab
and,
hold her.
and just hold on to her.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be enough to stop her from being able to go any further?
So it has a strength of 2.
Mm-hmm.
So probably not.
Oof,
Right.
It's it can't.
that makes me look strong.
It can't. It would that's like a -6 modifier to strength, I
Mhm.
think, or like it's something ridiculous because an 8 is a -1, so 6 difference.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, so that's you would know having used that before that
Mhm.
you like dropped a bucket on its toe once and it disappeared. So it is not super strong and would not be of any
So,
help to attempt
Never
to
mind.
grapple her.
Yeah,
It's
well-
not a good idea.
Do you have anything in inventory you can use to mark her, like a bottle of ink or paint or something like it could splash on her so she sticks out a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, an arrow with some kind of. Do I have some ink in my inventory?
I don't think we have
No,
anything in
you
our
have
inventory.
I'm gonna check your starting inventory.
No, I took the adventurer's pack instead of the other one.
Ah, that's why. Okay. Yeah, what you have is what you have. So
Mhm.
you do not have ink. But yeah, so what are
Okay.
so it is Alwyn's turn.
Okay.
So Because
Okay,
you guys got your
I
attack of opportunity. She dipped out.
right.
And so we're
Well,
at the top of the round.
I don't think I can catch her. So I've got a new plan, which is I'm gonna take out my rope, and Ergon's floating.
Correct.
I'm gonna attempt to tie him up.
So you're getting that close to him?
We're gonna get close to him. We're gonna kind of like make like a lasso thing, see if we can like start just looping rope around him to bind him so he can't move.
Isn't he already
As
kinda
you
stuck
come within
there?
range of him, even though he's laying down, like he takes one of his hands and makes a fist and like hits you with it.
Okay, hopefully I can dodge it. We'll see.
I rolled a natural 18
Okay,
to
in
hit.
that case,
So,
no.
Punched in the face.
yeah. And you will take 6 points of damage.
He's levitating. He can't do any damn. Ow. Yeah.
As his fist just like makes contact with like right at your collarbone and just crack, and you hear it crunch and like snap a little bit, and that hurt.
All right, I gotta put him down now. That's all there is to it.
All right.
This is now personal. You've hit me. I'm wounded.
I'm wounded.
Exactly.
Alrighty. So what are you hitting him with?
I'll just take my short sword. I was worried about like getting some weird blue ichor on it, but at this point, nah.
Just
it's
stab
kinda,
up through the cloud.
exactly.
That'll hit.
And that's 9 points of piercing.
Okay. He is starting to look really, really hurt.
Okay.
As like arrows are punctured out of different places,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's one in his shoulder and several in his legs, and like the blood is like profusely dripping through the cloud.
Mm.
And like you see little ice shards like come down with it as well through the blood.
Not good.
And you took your reaction,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't use your offhand because of the reaction, right?
Well, basically, I moved. I tried to tie him up. That didn't work, and I stabbed him once. So I think that kind of
Okay, yeah.
covers all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. Okay,
Mhm.
so that ends your turn.
Yes.
Elro is going to issue another 20 people out. So almost everybody's out of the place now. So like there's like 10 people around this side of the gate and 10 people on the other gate. Just to give you context.
When that lady went
Possibly. You don't really know.
Let's save as many as I can, okay?
So, and then Ardian, your turn.
I am going to continue on attacking the current threat, because she is now running, so she's no longer as much of a threat. And I doubt that I will be able to hit her without hitting somebody else.
Okay.
So I let off another arrow on the zombie dude.
Okay. Go and roll to hit.
And I roll 14.
That will hit. So roll damage.
I roll an 8.
Nice. That is... You hear the, like, exasperated groans escape his lips, and they start sounding labored. And more frequent, like he's trying to recover. Anything else on your turn?
And I move here.
Okay.
And then I end my turn.
Argus.
That's my name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bonk him.
Okay.
Get him.
I'm gonna bonk him.
You gotta
I
move
love
up to him to do so, but you totally could try.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's great. You guys are so awesome.
I'm
This is
gonna
amazing.
bonk him. This is great.
Wait, no. Wait, how far is that? What can I move?
It's like 20 feet. You can totally get there. 15, yeah.
Go right up to him, so there's no way I can miss. Straight T-ball style.
And swing.
Give him a good bonk.
17.
That'll
Okay,
hit.
he got a hit.
Yay! Roll damage.
Give him that paper cut.
We're-
That
Oh my
light little
gosh.
bonk.
It's just gonna go in a circle.
It's so gross. Yeah, you just kind of like go to jab up and you like jab through the cloud and manage to get like in between his arm and his chest and just and you go and you like shake it a few times like up and down in the air and then you pull it back down and there's no blood on it. You go
Does your staff say Hasbro on the side of it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? I hit him really hard. You didn't see that?
I hit him real hard.
knock on it, make sure it's made of wood
Yeah.
and not foam.
It says my
Give
first
him a
staff on
good
the side.
bonk.
I love it. Alright. So it's Ergon's turn. So Argus, since you swung at him, he's like reaches down, grabs your staff on the way down and like tries to hit you in with it and misses. So he like is searching for you and sees his hand come like down like backwards down through like unnaturally through the cloud and can't find you in contact. And
I don't want that thing, man. It's no good. It's broken.
that ends his turn. So it is her turn.
You gave him a good college try.
Mhm.
Okay.
Dang it.
And you don't see her anymore.
Poops out of existence.
Got away.
Alan, your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna wind up for the big hit.
Okay.
There we go. Swing better. That hits.
Hits. So
Nice.
tell me how you want to do this. To your friend with poetic
Right.
justice of
we
ending
have to go
Ergon's
for the head. It's
sentence.
like you know, it's struggling, whatever it is, and like I'm pretty sure that if we,
Clinical.
if we cut off the head, it'll probably die. So I just kind of it's you know I step back, I look at him, raise both hands, deep breath, all the way down, and the head just pops clean off.
Yeah, so you swing down and you kind of turn your eyes for a second as the blood splatter like hits your face.
Oh God, I'm infected.
And blood just kind of like accumulates on your face and it is cold. And then head rolls off, still the body still suspended there with the cloud. Erlo looks over his shoulder as he hears the like thunk, thunk, thunk of the head hitting the grounds as the last few people usher out. He just kind of still pushes them out and then like looks at you guys
Get
and
out of
goes,
here!
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
I think we need to burn this.
Um, as you say that, the dais has like torches in each of the four corners if you want to go grab a torch. You're more than welcome.
All right, I'm having trouble hearing you a little bit.
There's like like they almost look like tiki torches, right? Like they
Right.
have this staff with the wood light on the end. There's one in each corner of the dais. So if you wanted to grab one, there is fire available.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to wait till next turn, but I just say that out loud. It's like I think we need to burn
Well,
this.
we are officially out of combat.
Okay. Okay.
So if like he died, it doesn't look like he's coming back. Like the body is still like twitching just from
Right.
realizing it's dead, but you guys know what dead looks like.
Right.
And he
but whatever
really
this
looks
is,
like he's dead this
Yeah.
time.
He looks dead this time.
He
He
looks
looks
dead.
dead. But whatever this is, I'm in my mind. I'm thinking the only way to make sure that it's not going to spread anymore is to burn it.
Well,
Right.
wouldn't that just aerosolize it?
You can try.
Like I said, my gut instinct is to burn it.
Do you go grab a torch?
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a torch. Actually, I grab a couple of them to throw them to the rest of my party members and say that I think this is what we need. We need to burn this.
What if,
Argus, do you drop levitate?
no.
Okay.
Put a fire under that.
Yeah, you can try. I will say that like if you stick the fire under him, it doesn't catch immediately.
We can lower him onto it.
Um
No.
so
See what happens for a second, and then drop him onto it after there's no
yeah, so
reaction.
it like you hold the flame there for like a good solid minute, and it's like trying to catch, but it's difficult because things that are made of ice and that are moist and wet and cold have a harder time catching fire,
Right.
but it eventually does. His clothes start to go, and then like you see like the leather around his side go, and what was left of his beard starts to catch fire, which almost feels insulting because a dwarf and
Smells.
his beard, and burnt hair smell.
Uh,
As it
I'm glad
starts
I'm
to
far
catch
away from
fire,
this.
and soon enough, like parts of his like not the armor, but like his clothing, and then his body starts to catch, and phew, it lights up, and the blood's like the green, the blue blood starts to like boil from the ground that was underneath him, and you just see his body slowly start to like charcoal and brown, and then turn to black.
Brown? Are you cooking it?
Well, like brown, like yeah, but it's still flesh. It's just icy flesh.
Smells like jerky.
Yeah,
Smells like
this
jerky.
smells terrible.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. That's why
Yeah.
I backed far away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Smells
Um,
like jerky.
you guys do
Smell
this.
bad.
Erlo like make sure everybody else is out, extracts some of his glass blades to like help get these people home. Whoever that person was, watch out for her. But he kind of walks back over to you guys and kind of doesn't stand too close. Like he's gonna stand next to Ari and goes, well, thank you for attending Ergon's service. And you look and see his gaze, and he just looks more weathered than usual. and tired. And he goes, well, I hate to speak ill of the dead, but we're obviously in danger, and that has to have something to do with it. And I'm hoping that you guys can help us. And that is actually where we're going to end tonight's session. So,
And cliffhanger.
and cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But that is like the perfect place to stop for tonight. So,
It is.
we're going to call it there. You guys do level up to level 2 after that combat. So,
Sweet.
level up. I didn't get a chance to tell y'all how I do HP
right.
as your DM. You can either roll for it. If you roll a 1, you can re-roll.
Okay.
If, and I kind of baby you guys on this, but this is how I like to do it. So if you roll higher than the average, take whatever you rolled. If you roll average, like if you roll less than the average, take the average anyways.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? So that you can still get like a decent bump up on HP.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll be excited to see like what you guys choose for your second level for stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This was so much fun.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm going to end the stream there for those that have watched or tuned in. So thank you guys for joining. Voice Guy, I just now saw your comment, and I am so sorry that we are ending it at the end, but you will have to send me a message on Discord. And we will see you for our next episode next Friday, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for joining my stream.
Yay.
Yay.